Okay, just so that we can get started with, we'll introduce ourselves first, and then you. Um, so this is all my team, or my downline. It consists of lots of teams, right? Lots of we have another elite coach under us, as well as I think we have about 40 diamonds now on our team. Our team is, well, my team is called Team Engage. We are up to almost 1,700 coaches now. And this year alone, okay, hold on, let me mute up everyone. And I'll unmute you, Alex. Okay, so yeah, we're up to about 1,700 coaches. We've added about 400 to 500 coaches this year already. My goal was to double the size of our team, and we're picking up speed. So, I think we're still on track to hit that goal. And so what else would you like to know about us?
No, I mean, that's amazing. I love that you guys are well on your way and, only halfway through the year, right? And after summer, we all know that's a huge accelerator, and there's really no stopping after that with all the promotions coming on. So I have no doubt that you will blow out probably your goal by the end of the year.
Yes. Oh, and let me tell you something exciting. We just did the Diamond, the It Starts with Diamond, which was run by David Ingram, from the wall. And we had about 40 leaders on the wall, and 150 coaches from my team joined. We had a total of 4,000 coaches that were part of it, and there was a $70,000 pot to win. And I'm proud to say that we have 11 new diamonds just within that 10 weeks that all claimed part of the pot. And I think we have several more diamonds that are breaking this week. So there's more that are following along behind. So yeah, it's doing awesome.
As far as Summit, a lot of people going to Summit, a lot of coaches on this call?
Yes, we have 100 coaches going to Summit from our team, and that doesn't count the significant others. So there might be 150, that are going from our team. So it's very cool.
Very cool. Very engaged group, it sounds like.
Yes. So let me introduce you, Alex, to everyone that doesn't know you. So basically, Alex is senior director. Is that correct?
Director, not senior yet.
Okay, not a senior yet, but she's a director with Beachbody. She's been here about, a year?
Almost a year, about 10 months.
Okay, so she's a sales director for the East Coast. And since I'm on the East Coast, I only know the East Coast directors and managers. I don't know anybody on the West Coast or Central. Sorry, guys. But maybe she could tell you about her role. And she works typically with her and her team work with diamonds and above. So once you become a diamond, you can start participating in the corporate calls that they have and things like that, and the resources that they provide. They provide groups and things like that. She also works with the market councils and I know a lot of people on my team are part of different market councils that run Super Saturdays. So, whether I'm in the DC Market Council, but there's market councils all over the country, obviously. And so she'll work with those, and then she'll come to do events in local areas, and she'll help with Super Saturdays or Super Sundays. And she'll just come out and meet with coaches as well. So, their team will come, to your area. And typically you can go meet with them if you want to. So with that, I will turn it over to Alex, and you can go ahead.
Well, thank you, Greg. And I still remember my very first day on the job in Arizona, us talking at an elite party, by the food, just chit-chatting. I still remember that, Greg, and I appreciate you making me feel at home.
Sure.
But I'm excited to be on this call. When Greg asked me, I was like, absolutely, sign me up. When we did talk, we only talked for a couple times when I was working with the whole entire East region. And then, of course, market council stuff, but he thinks the world of this team. He really does. And I can absolutely see why the engagement here, you guys, all your pretty faces. I mean, it's just a great team, it looks like. But yeah, so my role it's now the Northeast and Southeast, and pretty much the Southeast is West Virginia, Virginia, South. That's the Southeast. Everybody above that line on the East Coast is the Northeast region. And the reason why we had to split is because the East region was growing so fast, which is awesome for you guys, that we wanted to be able to support you the way we should, right? So we broke that up, and now we have me as a director in the Northeast. So I'm working with the 6 to 14 stars. Jeff Pearson, who actually came from the West Coast, he was working with Doug and Keyshawn on the West Coast. He is now the manager, so he's working with the 2 to 5 stars in the Northeast region. And we're still in the process of hiring an associate manager. For all the diamonds on here, or anybody probably above who worked with Paul Jensen, it's going to be hard to match what he's done, but we are in the process of bringing somebody on to fully support the Diamonds and 1 Stars. Until that happens, we have created a Diamond and 1 Star page for the Northeast. So if you're not a part of that, please let us know and we'll put you in there. It's a way for us to connect with you guys and let you know what's going on. We're also holding region trainings. They're the first Wednesday of every single month. So our first one was today, actually. It was about onboarding. What we do in those trainings is we take topics that we hear from you guys with our calls that we could turn into a training and find top coaches who are doing really well in those areas, come and share their best practices. So today was all about onboarding, because we know that's a hot topic for a lot of coaches. How do I bring people on and get them motivated and excited and going the right direction? And we had Melanie Mitro actually go through her 30-day plan with a brand new coach. We recorded that call, and so I will absolutely give that to Greg so he can post everywhere. I'm sure everybody is posting it. But we do things like that to support you guys. We're also holding weekly 1-star calls to support. Right now, we have diamond clusters. So we're trying to do everything that we can to support the Diamonds and 1 Stars right now through the transition. In the Southeast, though, you have Craig, who's brand new. He's working with the 6 to 14 stars. You have Keyshawn, who came from the West Coast. She's working with the 2 to 5 stars, and then Paul Jensen is with the Diamonds and 1 Stars. If you're not sure what the map looks like or who you're supposed to be working with, if you're not in this region at all, it's in the Champions page, Beachbody Champions page. If you're not a part of that page, you need to be. The map's in there. It tells you everything about the region, who's in what region, and who your support is. So check that out if you're not sure, okay?
I have seen the document that lays out like who is in charge of every region. How do people go about connecting with those leaders? Do they send them an email or Facebook message them, or do they go through me, or what?
No, great question. If you're in that region and you know exactly who you need to contact and they haven't contacted you first, feel free to reach out to them on Facebook. Become a friend of theirs, shoot them a message, let them know who you are, where you are right now in rank, and that you would love the support that they could give you. And then from that conversation, they'll figure out if you need to jump into a one-on-one, a small cluster, maybe a bigger cluster. Maybe they'll give you a conference call to plug into, different areas right now for you to plug into. And then it's just kind of expectations, right? We usually have weekly calls, one-on-one calls, and from those calls, we have accountability. And however that accountability is going throughout the weeks, that's how we know if this person, needs to maybe move up from a cluster to one-on-one, or, just like you guys have to decide, is this person really the most impact I could be making with this 30-minute time slot? And if they're not, then maybe bump them back to a cluster, those kind of things. So there's definitely expectations, there's accountability, but it's a great way to plug in, learn different practices from other coaches, and extra accountability. Who doesn't like extra accountability, right?
Me, yeah.
Everybody but Greg.
Correct.
So that's what that looks like.
Cool.
Yeah. So there is something I do want to talk to you guys about today that I kind of told Greg I was going to talk to you about, but it's July 1st, right? It is the halfway mark of the year. 6 months is gone. We can't get it back. What is, now we're just looking to the future. So I think it's really important for you today at this time in this moment to take a step back and realize where you came from, where you are today, and where you're going, okay? At the beginning of the year, we usually make New Year's resolutions, right? Because it's a brand new year, we're ready to go, we're ready to get started, excited, and then we might kind of drop off, right? Well, it's halfway year. So stop, make some new resolutions if you need to, or really take a little bit of time to see where you've come from, okay? So when we take that time to really understand where we've come from, first think of all the great things. You know, I'm sure there's been some rank advancements. Greg just said how many people have popped to diamond last week and this coming week. I mean, so many great things going on in the past 6 months, right? Rank advancements, maybe you had the biggest volume you've ever had. Maybe you hit Success Club, whatever, the most you've ever done. Maybe you've had the most recruits. So many great things that you can actually step back and feel proud about. Remember those things, because that's what's going to keep you going, right? We tend to focus on a lot of the bad things, a lot of the areas that we need to focus on to get better in, and we get away from the things that we rock at and our successes. And it's important to remember those, okay? And remember what got us those successes, because on the flip side of that, we have losses, right? We have setbacks. Maybe we dropped in rank. Maybe we didn't recruit anybody this whole entire month. Maybe we had Success Club 4. Maybe, you know, we had no volume. I mean, there are things that set you back most likely. Maybe you had 100 million no's, right? Things that can knock you back that maybe make you double think about what you're doing. It's also important to remember those and to understand what happened and really turn, you know, those bad things into good data. A lot of times we just keep going, right? We just keep going on our journey, on our path, and we don't take time to really understand what happened and why. You know, Jeff Hill actually was on the call at the end of our training, and he talked a lot about this. And it's so important for, as a leader, to take the time to understand, you know, where your successes came from, where maybe your failures came from. And as a leader, really understand what happened and take the good things out of that failure and take the other stuff and put them to the side, and rinse and repeat is what he used. Rinse and repeat, you know. Maybe it's your onboarding system, right? You have some great things in that onboarding system. Bring that on with you, but maybe take those things that aren't necessarily working out and add something else. It's okay to tweak as a leader. It's okay to change things as a leader, you know, but rinse and repeat. But that's why it's so important to really understand where you've come from, okay? So I really urge you to do that right now, maybe after this call, sometime today or tomorrow, okay? All right. So once you really understand where you came from, now it's time to understand where are you right now. You know, we could be in a lot of different mind frames. Maybe we are really happy with where we're at. Maybe we're on track to hit our goals, whatever we set. Maybe we're behind and we're pissed off and we're like, you know, there's no point in this anymore. I mean, we could be in a lot of different mental places right now because of where we came from. So take a little bit of time to understand where you're at right now personally, where you're at in your head, in your business, in your life. And, you know, use that to almost motivate you to push you forward, okay? If you're on track, awesome. You know, use that to catapult you so that you are, you know, blazing through the next 6 months. It's not just being on track, you're above and beyond. You know, if you're not on track right now, use that pissed emotion that makes you go back and understand, okay, I need to rework what I'm doing. I need to tweak something so I can get back on track and then, you know, go above and beyond what I want to do. So really take some time and understand where you're at right now, okay? And then I think it's really important to figure out the rest. So where are you going, okay? So if that's 6 months from now, maybe you had, you know, 4 months from now, 2 months from now, maybe even by summit. You know, where do you want to be? What does that look like? And then reverse engineer those things and really figure out what you need to do to get there. I'm sure Greg has talked to you about the 3 key disciplines of self-leadership, or maybe you've heard it from somewhere, but it's so basic. And I love it so much because I'm a simple person. I'm not complicated. And when I think about the most basic you can get with this business, that's where it's at. You know, you have your why. You know, that's a big thing to think about right now. You look at where you came from, you look at where you are right now, and you need to get back in touch with your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because when times get tough, when it gets hard, when you hear those no's, when you lose rank, that why is going to keep pushing you forward. So really make sure that you connect back with that why, an emotional connection. Not just because you like helping people. You know, we all love helping people, but you don't have to be a Beachbody coach to help someone. Why are you a Beachbody coach? Why do you enjoy doing this? What are you going for? What is your vision? Figure those things out, okay? And write them down. Put pictures all over the place so that it's in front of your face all the time. So attached to this why are 3 key disciplines. And the first discipline is to be completely committed to a desirable outcome. And so this is just kind of a fancy way of saying, I'm going to set a goal that's achievable, but it's a push goal, right? It's a push because maybe I haven't done it lately, or, you know, maybe it's just a little bit step outside my comfort zone. But if I really put my mind to it, I can get it done. Maybe you think I want to be 2-star, 5-star, elite, which is awesome. Keep going for that. But you're not even hitting Success Club every single month. So start with something like that. Okay, find that goal that is a push goal, but achievable, and be completely committed. Okay, that's the key word here. I like to use an analogy. Greg, I think you've heard this. I used to have a call with Carl, but it makes sense to me. Has anybody on this call ever got a wax? Any kind of wax, whether you got your eyebrows waxed or maybe you got your legs waxed. I mean, and even if you haven't got a wax, Greg, I'm sure you know probably what it feels like.
I've seen it on TV, yes.
Right? 40-year-old virgin, I don't even know, but you have an idea. So your desired outcome of getting a wax is to have no hair, right? So when you make this decision to go get a wax, you're like, okay, this is my goal, is to have no more hair on my eyebrow. I don't want a unibrow anymore, right? Okay. So you make that decision, you're committed, you go, you sit there, you're ready to go, but you can still turn around. You can still just walk out that door without the outcome that you went in for, right? It's not until that wax is on your body, it's not until that wax is on your leg, on your eyebrow, wherever it's at, that there is no turning back. That is like the point of no return, right? That is all in, completely committed to this desired outcome. So I ask you, with that in mind, are you completely committed to your goals? And if you're not, you need to rethink them, because if you're not, then you're probably going to give up, or it's going to be okay if you don't hit them. I mean, and that's not okay as a leader. That's not okay as a coach, right? You need to be at a point where you are completely committed, that there's a point of no return, and this is going to happen come hell or high water, okay? So I want you to get to that commitment. The second thing, control the controllable, okay? I love this one because there are so many things you cannot control. And I experienced a lot of those things today in my life. For example, things in my life. I was driving down the highway, a rock hit my windshield, and I had to go get my windshield replaced. Although that is frustrating and I could just spend all day long pissed off about it, I can't control that in the end, right? And a lot of times we put a lot of frustration, a lot of emotion, a lot of, time and energy into things we can't control, when in the end it doesn't really matter. That's why when you look at your business and you look at that goal that you set, think about the things that you can control. Think about the activities that you can do personally that if you do them is going to get you to where you need to go. So if that goal is successful, what are those 5 main activities that you're going to do every single day to make sure that it happens, right? I'm sure those activities include finding new contacts. You need to find new contacts every single day, okay? Maybe that's inviting to a challenge group or to the opportunity, your business opportunity meetings, right? Maybe that's following up with 3 people today, every day. These things that you have 100% control of, you need to figure out what those activities are that are linked to your goal that you can do consistently, that you can control, that's going to get you there, okay? All right. The third one is to be fully accountable, all right? And this can happen a couple different ways, but I think it's so important, okay? And this is being fully accountable to yourself, the first way. And how you can do that is at the end of every single day, find 5 minutes to yourself and ask yourself one question. Did I win the day? And how you know if you won the day is if you were able to do those 5 daily activities that are getting you closer to your goal, that's getting you closer to your why. And if you're able to do them, it feels good. It feels good to accomplish something, right? I mean, I don't know about you. When I check things off that list, I'm like, yes, I'm getting stuff done and I'm getting closer to where I want to go. I also like to compare this to like T25, right? At the end of the workout, you're like, I nailed that workout. And it feels good to nail a Shaun T workout. And if you nail it again and again and again, you're going in the direction that you want to go, whether that's physically, mentally, whatever that looks like, you're going in the right direction. Same thing with your business. If you win the day every single day, you're going in the right direction. You will eventually hit that goal that you set, that you're committed to. And it's so important to have that time to think about that, okay? Also, it's important to have that time if you don't win the day. We have times in our life when life happens and we don't get to everything we want to get to, right? During that time, don't get mad, don't get upset. Really figure out what happened. Just like we talked about these past 6 months to look at the bad times, use the 24 hours, the past 24 hours. What didn't you get done and why? Turn that bad data, that bad day into good data so that in the future, you won't let it derail you from winning the day, okay? This is also nice, because this really affects your mental game. And I'm a big believer that the difference in the difference between your best game and your worst game almost always hinges on your mental game. And if you're winning the day every single day, your mental game is going to be there. You're going to be positive. You're going to be upbeat. You're going to be excited. And that's going to project to everybody, whether that's your post, whether that's a phone call, whether that's your team meeting, whatever that looks like. People are going to see something different about you because you're going to have this positivity. And things get easier, right? Recruiting gets easier. Following up gets easier because you're feeling good. So remember to have that accountability part at the end of the day where you talk about winning the day. You can also be accountable to somebody else, right? You can be accountable to Greg. You can be accountable to your upline. You can be accountable to your success partner. You can be accountable to maybe your corporate partner. Somebody out there, have them hold you accountable. Give them permission to hold you accountable. Say, hey, this is my why right now, and here is my goal that I'm really shooting for. I want to do it by this date. And these are activities that I'm going to do every single day, and I need you to hold me accountable. I'm giving you permission to hold me accountable for these things. So that way it's not just you holding yourself accountable, it's somebody else. And that somebody else really adds something to the whole entire equation. So really think about that when you're setting this whole recipe out for success, okay? So again, connect with your why. Be completely committed to desirable outcomes. So find that goal that you want to achieve. Control the controllable. So find those 5-day activities that are linked to that goal. And then be fully accountable. Take that time every single night to really dissect what happened that day, okay? And then use all that as motivation. I like to talk about the gap, right? And what the gap means is where you are right now and where you want to go. So when you get to where you want to go and you look back at this gap, are you going to be happy about it? Are you going to be proud about it? Are you going to be empowered that you did everything you possibly could to get to where you wanted to go? Or are you going to be upset? Are you going to feel like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have done that better, right? Really be proud when you get to the end of that gap of what you just done and accomplished, okay? So almost use that as motivation. Use these next couple of weeks until summit. Use the next 6 months until the end of the year as motivation, as the gap motivation, so that when you get to that point in time, you can look back and be like, I did that, and I am proud of myself, and I rock, because you need that, and that's such a cool feeling, right? So take a little bit of time, do all those things, and then, just work hard. I'm a firm believer that if you work hard and, there's discipline there. There are no limits. There are absolutely no limits to what you can do. Everybody on this call can do anything you want to do. You have the tools to do it. Greg's an amazing coach. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. If you don't know, ask him. But believe in yourself, because all of us can believe in you all the way, right? But it's not until you actually believe that you can do it is when the change is going to happen. So take some time. Believe in yourself, work hard, and be disciplined. And you can do anything you set your mind to.
Cool. Well, thank you. So I have a question. If you're up for questions, so is it better to set small, attainable goals or big, hairy goals, or do both? Because I kind of like the smaller ones because then I feel like I'm achieving something. And then sometimes I set big goals too, but I know that I may not achieve them right now. And I see coaches all the time like, oh, I want to be 15-star. Well, that's not really realistic. And if they set that as a goal, are they going to be disappointed, if they don't hit it?
No, absolutely. And I believe in doing both. I think you need those big, hairy goals to continue to push you, but be realistic. And then even if you set that big goal of 15-star, chunk that out to smaller goals so that these smaller goals are leading you up to 15-star, right? So that way you can have bigger things. When I talk to my coaches every single week, I know their big goals. I know what that looks like. I know what they want, but we focus on weekly goals. What are the 3 key things that you're going to focus on from now until next week when we talk that's going to get you to that big, scary goal, right? So that way they can feel those small wins every single week that we know are linked to that big, scary goal that will eventually get them there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and how do you, so you work with these diamonds, right, star diamonds. How do you track what their goals are, or do they track that? Or how would you recommend that coaches do that?
No, great question. So I think this can be different for everybody. How I track it though is on when I have their calls, I have them in my calendar and I have a note section. And I keep it really simple because again, I'm a simple person. And so I put really big in the area where it's just like I can see it all the time. I put exactly what their big goals are, right? So I know exactly what they're going for when we have our discussions. But then in the comment section, in the notes section, I just have 3 business goals, ... 3 personal goals, ... And so I just plug them in right there. So that way when I talk to them the next week, I usually start with that conversation. Of course, we talk a little bit about how's everything going, how's life, continue to build that relationship, which is key. And then I dive right into it. I'm like, okay, so last week when we talked, these are the things that you really wanted to focus on. You wanted to bring on 3 new coaches, right? You wanted to help 2 more people hit Success Club this week. You wanted to, invite 50 people to your opportunity. So things like this, that again are all linked to that big thing, is how I track it. And then they always write it down too. So it's not just me writing it down, because for me, it's just for me to see. But they always write it down. You can make a tracker. You can do whatever you need to do, whatever is best for you. I'm just a simple person, so that works best for me, if that helps.
Well, I know that like in the Beachbody online office, you can download the business activity tracker, which has you track like lots of things, right? It's kind of overwhelming for new coaches. So I kind of like your approach. So you just do 3 business goals and 3 personal goals?
Absolutely.
What is an example of a personal goal?
So personal goal is anything outside of Beachbody.
Okay.
I found that any coach in general, always thinks Beachbody, which I love, but Beachbody is a part of your life. It's not your life, right? And I want you to make sure that you remember that you have a life outside of Beachbody and that you should be putting your phone away at certain hours to spend time with your kids. You should be focusing on yourself, whether that's a spa day, whether that's a date night with your husband, whether that's, cooking dinner for your wife, things like that. And it usually starts out small like that because they're not sure. They're not used to thinking about themselves. Us as coaches, we're always thinking about others and how can we help others, and I love that. But at the end of the day, you need to take care of yourself to be able to do that for others, right? So now it's got to the point where now they're really thinking about this personal side and thinking about maybe what they wanted to do forever. What have they been putting on the back burner because of all this other stuff, And now they're coming up with some really cool things. Like a coach yesterday said, like, I've always been interested in Rolfing, and I never heard of this. And it's like a massage technique that helps adjust you. And she's like, I've thought about it for 5 years. I've just never taken that time. And now that I actually have this accountability with you, I'm going to put it on there. So she went and got a consultation. She loved it. She signed up for a 10-week session. So it gets to the point now that we're not just thinking of like up here things that are easy. Okay, I need to spend some more time with my kids. I need to turn my phone off, which is great and you need to do. But now it's to the point where like, okay, what am I putting on the back burner that, would make me happy? That is for me, So I think it's really important to also concentrate on yourself. And that's why I throw the personal side in there, because we're always thinking Beachbody. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. That's great. That's something I never do for myself. So I guess I need to start doing that.
Absolutely. Because it's so easy for us to do it all the time. And there could come a point where we just get burnt out, right? And we don't. And we don't want to do that. And we also don't want to show coaches that it always has to be Beachbody, right? Because then it could be scary for them. So we're opening up and we're showing, hey, I still have time to do these things for myself and my family. That's what people need to see, so they're not scared away and they don't have to be like you to be successful, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. So let's open it up to everybody else. So you can take yourself off of mute and ask Alex a question.
Hey, Alex, this is John. I really like that idea of asking yourself at the end of the day if you won the day. I think that's something I'm going to have to start doing, because I know I definitely have days where if I ask myself that, I would look at myself in the mirror and say, no, I really kind of stunk it up today. I didn't get done what I wanted to. But, a day like today, I felt pretty good because I did a lot of follow-ups, and, going to bed, I'm going to feel pretty good about the day. So when you ask yourself that question at the end of the day, do you fold in your personal goals and your business goals and kind of look at the whole day, not just the business day, when you ask yourself that?
I would absolutely look at the whole entire thing. I would. I really would. like doing the and if your personal side, if you didn't win the day, that affects everything else. So I think it's important to take a little bit of time to think about that. Evaluate and see if there's different things that you can do to win the day tomorrow personally that needs to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I caught most of that. You broke up a little bit, but I caught most of that.
Sorry. But yeah, but I agree. Like, it's something that we don't think about doing, right? And I think there's things we can do 6 months down the road, and we didn't take time at all any day to realize what happened. And then we have to remember what happened 6 months prior. Whereas if we do it every 24 hours, it's fresh in our mind. We're able to really understand, okay, so I didn't get to this today. I didn't get to the follow-ups today. I didn't follow up with my 10 coaches. And I didn't get to it because this happened, right? So if this happens again next week, how can I make sure I still follow up with those 10 coaches, even if it does happen? And make a game plan. We always, I'm a big plan B person. So do you have a plan B for if something happens so that you still get your, your win the day activities done?
Great. Good advice.
Yep, that makes sense. Thank you.
All right. Who else?
This is always fun. I actually never have questions. So, John, you're the first one.
Awesome. John is a, what, 1-star?
No.
Just diamond?
I'm an up and down diamond. I think I'll be up tomorrow.
There you go.
I've been down, but I think I'll be up tomorrow.
And he's in the Northeast.
Okay, great. Awesome. And when people talk to me about being up and down, a lot of times when we get to diamond, now we're on like the defense. We're like on offense, going to hit diamond. Now it's like, okay, defense. Now we just got to keep everything there. But we need to continue to be on offense the whole entire time. And that's why we came out with the leadership ladder. If you look at that team leader benchmark, that is playing offense and being a stable diamond so that you're not going back and forth. And so you don't have to worry about playing defense because although you're shooting for diamond, when you go for the team leader benchmark, you're bigger and better and thinking above that diamond, that rank, so that when you get there, you're making at least $1,000 a month. So you're sticking around, your people are sticking around, right? And you're not dropping, you're stable and you're solid and you're going to continue to advance. So for those who are always kind of back and forth in that area, I urge them to go look at that team leader benchmark and look at those goals. That's, of course, Success Club 5 for yourself. That's having at least 4 personally sponsored coaches, have at least 1 point on Success Club, and then 5,000 volume. So if you look at this win the day activity, maybe those goals up here should be those goals. Make sure that I had Success Club. Make sure that I have at least 4 personally sponsored, have at least 1 point on the board. And then, make sure that my weak leg is at least 5,000. And then find those activities that are going to build around those to get you to a stable draw.
Yeah, right. Obviously, easier said than done, but yeah, that's obviously.
It absolutely is.
Do that tomorrow, John. All right?
Yeah, I'll work on that tomorrow.
Yeah. You guys, this is a hard business, and we understand that. And not anybody can be a coach. We actually don't want everybody to be a coach. This is hard. You guys are doing something very hard, right? Whether that's workouts that are hard or being a coach and the leader that's hard, but it's hard for a reason because it's going to create the right results, right? You don't want to do something quick and easy. This is going to take some time. It's going to take time to build. And I watched a movie the other day, and at the end there was this awesome quote. And it said, if you want to get there fast, go alone. But if you want to get there, if you want to go far, go together. So it's really important to not only do it yourself, but that's why it's so cool to have this kind of culture as this team and then as your own personal team and to continue to bring people on your team to go together. That's how you're going to get far.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question. I live in Western Canada, and I'm wondering, do we have how can I connect with other coaches in my area too? Maybe to do a Saturday thing, whatever you call it. Lost my thought of train now.
Super Saturday.
Yeah,
right?
Super Saturday. How can I get in contact with other coaches around my area because I don't know any?
No, great question. In Canada, we definitely have support up there. Arnold and Jeff Darwin are up there right now supporting Canada. And so I would reach out to them. So Arnold Nagaha or Darwin, Jeff Darwin, and ask them. And then you can also go on your Beachbody website and you can look for a Super Saturday in your area. And so that will show and point you to the one that's closest to you so you can connect there with those coaches and start meeting people around your area.
Unfortunately, they're 5,000 miles away. I have looked.
Oh, no. That's a long ways. But Canada's growing, right? And there's more and more market councils happening, and so more and more Super Saturdays are happening. So there could possibly be one in your area. If not, I would reach out to Jeff Darwin or Arnold Nagaha, and they will get you in contact with Canadian coaches around you.
Right. And if there are no Super Saturdays on that interactive map that are near you, if you're, once you become an Emerald coach, you can start your own. And then, you might find other people that are near you because they'll see you pop up on the map. Okay. What else?
I got another question. What was that Beachbody Champions page you mentioned earlier?
So that's a Facebook group that we created. It was meant to be around the fall classic time, so we could communicate, do some trainings, those kind of things. But now we just kind of open it up to every coach. And if you're not a part of it, be a part of it, because there's a lot of trainings that go on. We have live Q&As with top coaches. We have training videos on there. We usually have some kind of tip of the day every single day. So a lot of connection with, I don't even know how many coaches are on there. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of coaches on that page right now. So plug in if you're not on there, and really pay attention to what goes on there, because there's a lot of good information.
Okay.
Also, I can post, I know there's a document somewhere which lists the different regions and who's in charge of, the different ones. Maybe it's been updated. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just updated, actually.
Can you send me the updated one?
Yeah, it should be, it's probably in your file section, Greg, for the Southeast page.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's in there.
Okay. I'll share it with everyone.
Perfect.
What else? Well, I guess that's it then. So thank you very much for all the great information.
You're welcome.
And we appreciate you being on the call.
Well, I had a great time. Again, come and find me at Summit. I know with 25,000 people, it might be kind of tough, but come and try to find me. Say hello, introduce yourself, and keep kicking butt.
Yep. We'll get some more coaches to Star Diamond that you'll be working with here soon.
Awesome. Very good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks.